And welcome back. Our second conversation this morning is a shift in gears to discuss the preservation of the Garifuna identity. We have with us a member of the Education Committee of the Garifuna University Without Walls, James Elihio, and we're also joined by Dr. Anita Barrett. She's also the Education Committee member for the Garifuna University Without Walls. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, Isani. Good morning, Marlene.
Good morning. Let's begin first of all by finding out more about this, well, what appears to be a novel idea, the Garifuna University Without Walls. What is it all about, and how does this aim to continue the preservation of our way of life as Garifuna people?
Very good. Excellent first question, Isani. First of all, it's fitting that we speak about what the Garifuna University Without Walls is. So the Garifuna University Without Walls is an agency of the Garifuna Nation whose vision is a virtue-based, economically sustainable world in which every Garifuna person has access to quality education so that they may be able to develop their educational capabilities and contribute in the process of participatory community development. And the way that we will be doing that, and which is directly connected to what you're making reference to, Isani, the preservation of Garifuna identity, is the promotion of the ancestral Garifuna mental model, which has as its elements the primacy of God, self-sufficiency, the value of the high value for the family, and also consensual governance, which means that we envision a world in which people's ideas, capacities, all the talents, that people have will be engaged in the development of that kind of world that we believe our ancestors had in mind when they stood against colonialism and also slavery.
Yeah. Where did this idea come from, and how did this all come together for such an initiative?
Yeah, I don't know, Anita, if you want to go there, but maybe just in terms of speaking about where this idea is from, it's very important that we, take a look at where we are as Garinago at this time in the world. We realize that in many parts of the world, Garinago people are not living the kind of life that really they would like. And this is not to say that, there isn't, a very valuable mindset, that we have as a people. So when we speak about the kind of world that we would like, this in itself, this virtue-based, economically sustainable world, it actually constitutes the basic idea that is driving us to do this. Because, as we mentioned, when we look at what is happening on the ground, we realize that Garinago people are not yet, making their contributions as much as they can if they get the kind of education that we, as a university, will be providing to ensure that every Garifuna can contribute to the growth and progress of their community wherever they are in the world.
And what kind of education are we talking about?
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. Just agreeing to have us on the show. shows that the support that you're giving us. This is a community initiative, and it cannot be done without the input and support of community. So one of our purposes here today is just to introduce the concept to the community we will serve, because of course we need their input. The kind of courses that we will be offering has predominantly to do with the revitalization and the actualization of a Garifuna identity. I know that when you talk about that, if I say something like that, it might sound a little bit exclusive, because if you're going to have an institution for Garifuna, what happens to the rest of Belize?
Yes.
The key to that is anything good is catching, and it will serve. We're not exclusive. One of the elements of the Garifuna mental model is universality. And if you look at our history, our ancestors were open. They welcomed people to join us. The French came, the Caribbean, English, everybody, we were welcoming. And when we moved and when we were exiled to Honduras, we fit right in. We got involved in Honduras politics. We are not exclusive in our attitudes. And of course, the Garifuna mental model is a mentality that we want to propagate at this time. So the kind of education that we're having is for the building of the Belizean community. It's not exclusive to Garifuna. Nothing that the Garifuna Nation or the Garifuna Council has ever done has ever been exclusive to Garifuna. It has always been about the building of a nation and affording opportunities for a people. Yeah. If you look at Belize, our Pride and Joy Belize School in Dagriga, we have all ethnic groups at Belize.
Yeah. And is that kind of what you're attempting to do here? The Belize school, which I do have to say is such a wonderful initiative, having children growing up, learning language, learning cultural clothing and some of the dress and all the other aspects of the culture within the school system. That's a unique model in itself. So are you now taking similar strides with the online world for a wider population? Is that what you're doing with Gary?
We're taking one step forward. The idea of Without Walls is because we are catering not only to the Garinago in Belize, but to Garinago across the diaspora. We are involved with Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, St. Vincent, and even the United States. So our courses will be open to these regions, and we have individuals, points of contact who represent us in these areas. The objective is to bring the Garifuna education system to the needs of these people wherever they are. You will find that research shows, if you look at data, if you look at numbers, Garinago, wherever they are, whether it be in Honduras or Belize or Nicaragua or Guatemala or St. Vincent, even the United States, we are not always at the best part of the economic, the
strata.
Yes, yeah. We're not always there. We're always on the lower end of the economic part of things. And we believe that we need to try something different.
Yeah, and maybe just to inject here too, Anita, in light of the identity, I feel, and the nature of the courses also, Marlene, because your question is very, very key here. The general knowledge of indigenous peoples and Africans we know in the world right now is not very much in the mainstream. And so what the Garifuna University will be actually providing is this opportunity for our people to be able to appreciate Garifuna art, science, technology, in addition to language and other fields that we'll be actually providing as part of the activities and courses, even degree courses of the university.
So is this initiative then perhaps a direct means of addressing the issue that some would say the culture or the idea of Garifuna Duo is dying. Is this an academic approach to addressing that issue?
Yeah, go ahead, Anita.
That is the point that I was getting to, and I was giving a little backdrop before I actually go, because their question was what were the courses and so on. I was getting there, but I was setting up the whole idea about what we are and the relationship between the different countries. It is about that. We're trying a different approach because, like I was saying, that education in itself has been one of the main source of killing our culture, of depleting our cultural practices, of minimizing our identity as indigenous peoples. Education, we weren't allowed to speak Garifuna in school, we were taught English and different things like that. So we believe that given a structured organization like the Garifuna University Without Walls, we can be effective reintroducing the mentality of the Garifuna people through education. So most of the courses that we're offering right now have to do with the Garifuna culture. We're starting from scratch right now. So the courses that we're offering are pretty much continuing education courses for this summer, like Introduction to Drumming. We're offering Garifuna Leadership, Garifuna Marine Biology, the Garifuna language. James Lovell is having a very interesting course where he's using music to teach the language to children. I am offering an Introduction to Garifuna course that was approved by the University of the West Indies, and I taught it a while back to adults. James here is teaching leadership, which is very, very key. We have economics. We have to change the way we think about our resources. We feel that if we start somewhere, we can get somewhere. The purpose of our visits here and other media houses is we're proposing a buy-in from the community. We want them to know what it's about so we can get their support and assistance, because it cannot be done in isolation.
The good part about online, not only what you're saying that it can be beyond the borders of just one country. You can get participants from St. Vincent, from Honduras, from Nicaragua, from Guatemala, because we do know that Garifuna culture is not just unique to Belize. Now, let's talk about the age groups that you want to work with and also their level of knowledge. I mean, there are some people who know nothing. They may not know the language, and there may be people who are not of Garifuna culture and want to learn the language.
Yeah, very good question, Marlene. I love that very much. Very penetrating. So the idea of the Garifuna University, given what we see as our mandate, to bring about this major change, because it's very clear that it's a major change that we need to, bring into being, is actually to collaborate with especially educational institutions at every level. And so we will be collaborating, with kindergartens, with primary schools, with high schools, and other universities, which means that we will be operating according to a strategic plan, which allows us, to be able to share, the knowledge that we have, within the knowledge pool of the university, to be able to really contribute to the Garifuna people, regardless of their age, regardless of where they are. And when I say regardless of where they are, it also has to do with regardless of their educational status. And so we're very, very conscious that we do have a major work at hand, but nonetheless, what is of utmost importance is that we be strategic about it. And just as Anita had mentioned, we already have highly qualified people in place already for us to be able to start this process. And Anita might be able to actually speak about what we're doing even this summer in regards to moving ourselves to fulfill our mandate.
So, for example, like my thing is that it's not an individual thing. We have to get buy-in from the community. It's a community thing. So for this summer, for example, we have a group of teachers who have volunteered to teach remedial English, math, and reading to children in villages of Hopkins, Georgetown, and St. Bai. Now, that is already the beginning of a change in mentality because, I mean, you're not being paid. Mm-hmm. We have decided that, we have to do things for ourselves. Will you join us? And these teachers just raise their hands and they are joining us to start this summer teaching that as one of the first part of the Garifuna University Without Walls. So you might be asking, why is it primary ed, English, math, and so on? We're also looking at the quality of our teachers and giving them support. And so we're incorporating everything, getting on the ground, working with people who are interested to do better. And like, as James said, we are collaborating with other institutions like the BICU, Bluefields Indian and Caribbean University. Mm-hmm. We have a memorandum of understanding where
this is in Nicaragua, correct?
That's right, yes.
Yes. Yeah. And then we are offering for the first time Garifuna marine biology. Mm-hmm. Now, what is the difference?
Pause for a second and explain that to us.
The difference between Garifuna marine biology and the traditional marine biology is because once it is offered by the Garifuna University Without Walls, it will include lessons about how we should think, how we should treat each other, how we should be fearless. We'll find ways to incorporate these things in our lessons. And then we're looking at Garifuna people. Most Garifuna settlements are along the coast of all these countries. Like we have St. Bai, Hopkins, these are all coastal countries in Nicaragua, and so on. But still, as Garifuna people, we do not capitalize on the sea and seafariness to make a living.
Yeah.
So the marine biology is about teaching our own people how to use their resources to capitalize and make some kind of generational change in their economic and other status, We have the issue of climate change and losing land and so on. We have really trained Garifuna marine biologists who can educate us on how to prevent not prevent, we can't prevent it, but minimize the effects of erosion and climate change in the areas where we live along the coast. There's a lot that we can do that we're not educated about. Economy. So many Garifuna people, they would get richer, get a lot of money overnight or through their hard work, but still we don't tend to turn that into generational wealth. Mm-hmm. Why is that? So we believe that if we strategically offer the kind of education that address these things, agriculture, we have a lot of agricultural land, we're not using it. And we feel that if we start to offer a university education that is for our reality, not to remove us from our reality, then we would be serving our community. I want to apologize for Relisha. It would have been really interesting if she were here today because she's from St. Vincent, and her first exposure to Garifuna was through efforts of the National Garifuna Council and other organizations that got Belizeans to go to Nicaragua to assist them to revive Garifuna. Nice. And today, Relisha is an adult activist because of that. Nice. So even though we might put things in place that some people will say, oh, you're dreaming, it's not gonna happen. No, it can happen. Yeah. It needs consistency and it needs professionalism And we also need to have the professional skills to do these things. And we do. We are trained professionals, and we can do this for ourselves instead of doing it for other people.
Yeah, definitely. There are professionals across the country, and I'm sure across the world, that will be happy to participate in this. But as we round off the conversation, how can people find out more, whether it's to be a professional that will offer educational services or benefit from the educational services?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Anita.
All right, so they can visit us on the Garifuna Nation website. We have a link there that they can find that takes them to Garifuna University Without Walls. We have forms and we have registration links that they can use to express their interest, whether to register for a course or to participate as a subject matter expert. We still need help. Right now, we're looking for someone to offer like gardening or anything in that field. We don't have anybody yet. I know we have a lot of professionals, whether Garifuna or not, who can assist. So, you know, we would, so they can go to that's the
website.
That's our, yeah. That's the Garifuna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
That was taken down yesterday because they're uploading the documents. So the GarifunaNation.org. Garifuna Nation, that is our home page. That is because we are under the umbrella of Garifuna Nation.
Yeah.
That is an active web page that has the links to those things right now.
Well, thank you all for telling us all about it. We wish you the best of luck.
Do you have 1 minute for me to talk about our logo competition?
Oh, you have a logo competition. Very quickly, yes, go ahead.
Logo competition, we're starting from scratch. We don't have a logo, so we launched a competition about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We have really interesting entries. Deadline for entry is tomorrow. Deadline for entries is tomorrow. And we will be announcing the winner tomorrow as well. So we encourage people to listen in and to submit entries. They still can.
Yeah.
And to go down in history because we will be using the logo as our official university logo.
Fantastic idea and fantastic effort. We wish you the best of luck. Do stay safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
having us. Thank you very much, Marlene, Isani, and enjoy the rest of the day also.
You too,
guys.
Mabuiga.
All right, with that, we'll take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up. So stay tuned.